time for life talk. The last 10 years have been difficult, and the biggest part of that has been a cancer diagnosis, which obviously rocked my world. And more recently, I have had to confront some of the ongoing physical and medical sides of that diagnosis, as well as some of the emotional effects of that. And also, like, this last 12 months has been pretty difficult and overwhelming as well. And what I am trying to do with my life is be less of a passive participant. I'm trying to do less of what I should do and less of what I'm obligated to do and more of what I want to do. I've come to understand that the only thing you can't really get more of is time, and that time is our most valuable resource. And I got a very acute lesson in that in 2009 when I got my diagnosis. And I mean, that was pretty terrifying because I legit thought I was going to die. So you suddenly really realize the value of time in a way that I don't think many other 24-year-olds do understand, without some sort of trauma to highlight the issue. And I think from there I went into kind of a very functional state of shock, where all you really want is normal and stable, because normal and stable is not scary, and all your reality is terrifying real shit that could kill you. And I think the trouble is that ultimately craving some normalness and some stability in my life is almost a decision made in fear. And I think when you make decisions in fear, eventually they catch up with you, and while it might have been what I needed at the time, they catch up with you in that you end up in a totally different place to where you thought you were going to, which is kind of, I guess, common after a life-changing event, but also it doesn't lead to happiness because you are making choices out of fear and because you're looking for normal and stable, and because I was in a functional state of shock. And so I think a lot of that I've been dealing with in the past couple of years, particularly more acutely in the last 12 months. I want to make the most of my time. I want to do things that fill me with joy, not things that I have to do out of obligation. And I mean, I'm not insane. I know I still have bills to pay, and you can't just walk away from everything and completely, well, you guess you could completely change your life, but there are obviously consequences to everything that you do, and I think that I understand that very much now. But I am trying to deliberately live my life and be more present in the moment and find ways to change my thought processes, change my perspective, and to be filled with more joy, because that is what I want. And I mean, I had a conversation with someone recently where they were saying, you know, what you've got to do is you've got to work and work and work and get to the point where you can retire and then you get to live, or you've got to work and build up your business and, you know, all of that side of things, and then sell it and then hopefully have enough money that you can retire. And I don't want to work so that maybe one day, if I'm lucky and I get given enough time, I can live at the end of that. Because what I've learned is that you're not guaranteed time. You're not guaranteed 70 plus years. You're not guaranteed 50 years. The only guarantee you've got is today. So your obligation is to live your life and be happy today, and to pursue the things that fill you with joy rather than just ticking off things on a to-do list and doing things that other people want you to do. And it's been a pretty frustrating process trying to change your life, because you know where you want to be and you know what you've got to do mostly to get there. But what I'm realizing is that it's more about the process and more about trying to slow down and be present more, rather than always pushing. And yes, there is a certain amount of hustle that's required to change your life and to live your dreams, but you also need to execute properly and be focused. And I think probably the area of my life where I have really learnt this and seen the profound impact of it is in my work life. So I reached a certain level of skill, and what I found was that in my consultations with my patients is if I really slowed down and tried to do less but be more effective and efficient with what I was trying to do, I made such a bigger impact for each patient, and I was able to make so much more change in the way they were feeling and the way their body moved. And it really taught me that sometimes slowing down and doing less is actually a way to do more, because you are far more focused and far more deliberate and therefore far more efficient in getting to the end point. Now, trying to apply that to life is difficult, and I haven't worked out how to do it yet, because you don't want to slow down so much that you end up being a couch potato, but you don't want to push so hard that you end up burning out, which is something that I'm very prone to doing, because I just keep going and going and going, and there's so much stuff that I want to do, that I have to do, that I need to do, that I need to do for somebody else, and you just end up exhausted. So what I'm doing is I'm starting to recognize the signs of burnout faster. I am being more deliberate with my time. So unless I have a really big task, like I've been painting my kitchen over the weekend, I'm not going to break that down into small tasks. You just got to paint and get it done before the paint dries and it's all messed up. But generally what I'm doing is I'm breaking my day down into an hour, hour and a half, very occasionally 2-hour chunks of time. And I am allocating that to different tasks, because what I was finding was I would just go like, I need to write today, I need to just do it, or I need to do, 9,000 things for work. And I would get bored and I would fall down YouTube rabbit holes and I would procrastinate, and it would be such an inefficient use of time, that what I found that is that if I allocate, I've got to clean the house between 3 and 4 p.m. and then 4 to 5 p.m. I'm taking the dog for a walk, and 5 to 6 p.m. I'm cooking for the next 2 days' meals, whatever, that I was so much more efficient. And I didn't think I would like a schedule, because I hate people telling me what to do. And so I figured I would hate myself telling myself what to do, but it turns out I was actually really good, because I didn't have to think about what I was going to do. I didn't have to, get stuck in a task and be like, oh God, I just got to do it, whatever. And I didn't waste so much time, because I was like, right, I've got an hour to do this. I got to get on with it. I got to cook the dinners for the next 3 days, or whatever the hell it was that I was doing, or I've got an hour and a half to write and I need to be efficient and I need to not waste this time, and I need to, if I'm not in the mood to write, then I need to go through and edit and read, or I need to plan out where I'm going in the future, so that next time I sit down for an hour and a half, the writing time is used well. And I found that was really effective and helped me feel like I was being a productive human being. And it helped me get through more tasks because I was more focused. And I don't know quite how that relates to slowing down, but I felt less panicked and rushed and stressed and everything than I would normally do, just trying to tick things off a tick box, because I think you end up procrastinating so much that then you end up having like a mad hour and a half trying to get everything done, while still somehow trying to procrastinate in all of that. So like I said, I'm trying to recognize the signs of burnout more, and I'm trying not to push myself. So I'm at the moment not forcing myself to do a lot of writing, because it's been a hard couple of weeks. And I mean, I can really see the difference in myself when I look back at videos that were filmed over the last 4 weeks. I can see it in my eyes that life was hard. And so what I've been trying to focus on more is trying to do things that refill the creative juices and the creative vibe in me, and trying to get out of Sydney whenever I have a break. And I haven't had a break in quite a while, but I've got 2 more weeks, I think, of Saturdays to work, and then I am free. And so I plan to get out of Sydney. I plan to have a little bit of time off, and I'm just trying to do things, or trying to plan for things that are likely to fill me with joy. There is a certain amount of just holding on that's happening at the moment, because there's just some things that I just have to get through, or some things that I have to do. Like today I have to have another MRI, and that's just shit I have to do because of the situation I'm in. And so there are certain parts of that I can't change and I can't control, and it is what it is. But I'm planning to run away down to Jervis Bay again soon to see my best friend, and just trying to get life a little bit more moving in the direction of where I'm making choices based on things that I want to do rather than things I have to do. So like I said, last couple of weeks, shit's been real and shit's been hard. And yeah, I just try and keep a focus on the fact that even though I'm suffering now, there's something that's going to come out of this, and I'm going to learn something that I need to learn to become whoever it is that I need to become. And so I wanted to share a couple of quotes that I have been reading or connecting with lately. And the funny thing is, like, I always used to think it was really lame when people put you know, like quotes and stuff on Instagram and Facebook, but I guess it just depends where you're at in your life and whether the words actually connect with you in the moment, because they've been connecting with me and I've been coming across some things that I think I needed to hear. So I thought I would share them with you. And so the first one comes from a mini series called The Great Wide Open, which I've talked about before, so I'm not going to talk about again. And it's this man was being interviewed, and he said, I would wish that everybody could get outside and see what a wonderful world we live in. I think too many people live their life 5 days looking forward to a 2-day weekend, and they don't enjoy the life they're given and the small amount of time we have on this earth. So true. Then there's a quote from Gary Vaynerchuk. It's 7 billion people need to change the conversation of what success looks like. It's not to make $1 billion. It's to actually wake up in the morning and be in a good mood. Truth. This one I think I connect to more from a place of hope than anything, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, so sorry. It's Rainier Maria Rilke, and believe in a love that is being stored up for you like an inheritance, and have faith that in this love there is a strength and a blessing so large that you can travel as far as you wish without having to step outside of it. There's also my old favorite, blessed are those who live out their dreams. That's the difference between listening to the knock on the door and going and answering. So then there were 2 kind of long quotes that I stumbled across on YouTube videos, and I don't actually know who to credit them to, but anyway, I firmly believe you're never supposed to wish for it more than you're prepared to work for it. Your expectations are never supposed to exceed your effort. But a lot of people, they wish and they're not willing to work. And the great thing about life has a funny way of testing us all and seeing how bad we really want what it is we say we want. Life is going to hit you with a certain level of opposition. Life is going to hit you with a certain level of adversity. And life is going to say to you, you said you wanted it, now let's see how bad you really want it. And the second one is, our deepest fear is not inadequacy. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. But the quote I've actually connected to most in the last couple of weeks is actually a really simple, short one from Will Smith. Your heart, your life, your happiness is your responsibility, and your responsibility alone. So I know that's probably cheeseballs to share some of the things that I've been going through and some of the quotes that I've been connecting to, but oh well. Let me know below in the comments if any of those quotes resonated with you, and I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel.